We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates throughout Fairfield County and beyond. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, where we have guests from within the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office and guests from within the community. This week is no exception.
Right, Sheriff.
Sergeant Marian Devault with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Good to see you, Sarge.
Good seeing you, Sheriff.
And it's been a couple years since you've been on.
It has. 2 years, I think.
2 years.
Yep.
Wow. Time flies.
A lot of things going on.
I thought that it was sooner than that, but it's good to get back with you, get caught up. And before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, how you kind of got into law enforcement.
I was always interested in it, and I've been with the Sheriff's Office 17 years.
Wow.
My husband's a retired Columbus police officer. My daughter's a dispatcher for Lancaster Police Department. Kind of keep it in the family, and it's just something we've all always loved.
Public service is kind of part of the family.
It is.
So, and I happen to know your husband from long before I knew you, actually.
You were his lieutenant.
I was his lieutenant when I was
That's
with the Columbus Police Department, Ron, and he's doing well.
Really well.
So how was that when having two law enforcement, husband and wife in law enforcement? Did you come home and talk shop, or was it?
Every once in a while we could trade some information. The area that he was last in and as a detective bordered Pickerington.
Okay.
We were able to later trade a lot of information.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on cases and help each other.
So, and you've been a sergeant for how many years? Long time?
Wow, probably 12.
12 years?
Or better, yeah.
12 years. And, what's some of the different assignments you've had since you've been with the Sheriff's Office?
When I started, we either would work the jail or radio room. So
Okay.
I started in the radio room and learned the communications aspect of it. Then to patrol, did a short stint in the Detective Bureau. I've been in the jail. I've opened the annex for you 2 years ago.
That's right.
When the last time I was here.
You opened the annex.
Yes, we did. That was our third jail for the overcrowding.
Okay.
I've been up in Pickerington, and I just accepted a new spot up in Canal Winchester.
So you're currently assigned to the Canal Winchester?
Yes, sir.
And that's almost like being the chief of police of Canal
Yes.
Winchester.
Yes,
you kind
it
of
is.
run the whole
Right.
operation there.
Right, a small part of the city, it's a city now,
Right.
is in Fairfield County. A lot of people don't know that, and the rest of it's Franklin, and we have a contract with them.
Do you have, when you look back on your career, is there anything that kind of sticks out, some area that you liked more than others that you thought was fun or
I
something
love
interesting?
patrol.
Okay.
I love being out with the people, and even night shift. I did 10 years on night shift, and it's a whole different world out there on nights.
What would be the difference for our viewers and listeners between the three shifts as far as the kind of policing you do, the kind of calls you go on between the first shift, which is in the daytime, second, which is in the evening,
Right.
and then that third shift is after 11 p.m.?
Right. First shift, we're very busy serving court paperwork. That's one of the functions of the Sheriff's Office. Subpoenas and summons and foreclosures, unfortunately. Just busy on calls. Second shift, everybody's getting home from work, and that's what they do. They just run call to call on that. We check VCs.
Vacation checks.
On all shifts. Third shift is a little different. Everybody's in bed. Some of the people you find out shouldn't be there, but it's nice just being out there looking at the businesses. And
So yeah, I guess there's a big difference between 3 in the afternoon and 3 in the morning. See somebody out 3 in the afternoon, maybe walking down the alley, no big deal.
No.
It's 3 o'clock a.m. You're going to stop them and find out what they're doing.
Yeah, we just stop. Hey, how's it going? And other people have shifts like we do too. They may just be taking a walk.
Now you work third shift, you say, for about 10 years?
For about 10 years.
You know, and that's really a shift that, and having worked that shift over the years, that was, to me, it was an interesting time to be a policeman, because you could really, like we mentioned, at 3, 4 in the morning, you see somebody out, you see a car driving down an alley, something probably is up. But one thing I never got used to, it seemed like about 4 o'clock in the morning, I was always tired, no matter how much. So it didn't seem to come naturally to me.
I don't think it's natural for your body, and you have to learn to sleep different. I would darken the room just to try to get good sleep. I don't think my body ever got used to it.
Yeah. Now, your last assignment, you're assigned to Canal Winchester.
Yes, sir.
And for our viewers and listeners, better than half of the county, the village of Canal Winchester is actually in Franklin County,
Yes,
right?
it is. Yes, it is.
And we subcontract to police that.
Right.
And how many officers do we have assigned to that
We
area?
have 10 officers assigned there and a sergeant.
And I would think that when you look at Canal Winchester in the village, it's kind of a little different type of policing.
It is. You get to know everybody, the business owners, the people that live there, the kids that go to school there. You're close with the mayor. You meet with him every week of what's going on, because everything's done under a city ordinance there.
Right. So it's kind of like the old kind where the real essence of community policing,
Yes.
where you really do get to kind of know people.
Right.
And that reminds me, one thing I thought about when I first became sheriff. You know, when we talk about having a community policing officer,
Right.
where you have a deputy, where their assignment is primarily, I'm going to be involved in the community, I'm going to go to the luncheons, I'm going to take care of these issues. And I think it's certainly the philosophy of you in Canal Winchester. Everybody, and this is for the whole sheriff's office, is a community policing officer.
You are.
If you are a law enforcement officer, if you're a deputy, you need to be out and about, walking, meeting and greeting, talking to the community.
Well, that way, when you get to know the people and the area that you patrol, if something's out of the ordinary, you catch it right away.
Right. And I think a lot of people today, when they see a law enforcement, all they see is like sitting in a car driving along.
Yeah, and that's not what we do.
No,
that's not
no.
everything. No.
No, you do a lot more. And sadly, a lot of the time, the only interaction citizens have with law enforcement, they're getting a ticket or reporting a crime. So we want to take it out of that and say, hey, we're going to be at the community events. And you were a big part of our going out and doing a lot of that, weren't you? Where you went to a lot of the senior citizen lunches and all those things?
Senior lunches, talk to them, give them safety tips for home and phone and mail and just little things that will help them out.
When you look at the city of Canal Winchester, what's probably one of the more dominant or most common kind of calls you get in that area?
I've just only been there a couple weeks. I haven't got a big feel for it.
So you're relatively new there?
And we've also just started a school resource officer there, which is something brand new for Canal Winchester.
First time ever?
First
Jeff
time
Reed,
ever,
Canal
yes,
Winchester
yes.
Is having the community.
So him and I are feeling our way through getting this going.
Yeah, I know that one thing that I've seen a lot of is at least because they have some major stores, they have the shoplifters.
Right, Walmart and Meijer. Sorry to say, but they keep us pretty busy.
So you got a lot of calls into
Yeah.
those stores picking up shoplifters and those kind of things.
Yeah, sad to say, we do.
And they have their own security people.
Yes, very good security.
Yeah. So one of the other things that you've been involved in is a firearms instructor.
Yes, I am a firearms instructor. We qualify our deputies once a year, the whole department, and probably 4 times a year take them out on what we call open range and let them shoot, give them pointers, and keep them doing their job well.
And there's minimum standards for
minimum state standards, and that's across the board, what the state requires.
So typically, what would be some of the shooting qualifications that they would have to go through when they qualify? What are some of the certain things that they have to have a degree of proficiency in? And then what if they don't meet that?
Well, if they don't meet what state qualification, we'll work with them.
Okay.
And re-educate them and take them out, give them pointers.
Right.
We'll work with them.
Okay.
We definitely will.
So there's so many rounds, and there's different,
Right.
different positions and moving targets and those kind of
We
things.
have move. Yeah, we make them move, get into different positions, barricade, just so that they're not always just standing right in front of a target shooting. We make them move around and do.
And there's some stress involved in
Yes.
that, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that most police-related shootings are at close range.
Very close, 7 to 10 feet.
7 to 10 feet.
Up close and personal.
Up close and personal. And that's really been a shift in the training, because when I first started, there was a lot of shooting 25 yards.
Right.
There was a lot of distance shooting. There was a lot of shooting at, where you go, across half a football field, and you'd be
Right.
doing part of the shooting. Now they brought that all in to quick.
Yes.
There, you shoot. It's all kind of instinct,
Right.
and because we know most of those shootings are quick. There's not a lot of time. You're not aiming a lot. You're just pointing at the target,
Just point
trying
and
to
shoot.
immobilize the danger.
Right. And we try to come up with what we call a range challenge every year. The range officers get together and we'll come up with something that the deputies don't know what we're going to do. We may stick them in a cruiser that we sit there and have them come out and maybe put a gun together.
Okay.
This year we did have them put a gun together. We field stripped it, had it laying in pieces, and they had to jump out of the car, run up, put it back together, and shoot the target.
Is
We
that
want
right?
to put a little stress on, make them think, and they just act.
Yeah.
Yeah, we come up with something different every year.
I think that's really a good idea when you look at some of the training, as far as to have people, because a lot of these shootings take place in a car,
Right.
don't they? When you're pulling a traffic violator over, the individual pulls a gun, so they better know how to react,
Right.
not only at a target, but something that looks a real life scenario.
Yeah.
Talking about training, the other type of training you've been involved in is the taser.
Taser training. We brought the taser in, I want to say 6-7 years ago, and it's been a good tool, a good secondary tool.
And one of the things we've heard about the taser, you hear, is they could be dangerous if you taser someone. People get killed by the taser. But it seems to me that most of that, the reality is that most people that are tasered don't have any reaction other than they're immobilized.
Right, and it's just a quick 5 seconds, get them detained, and they recover very quickly. That's why you get in, get them cuffed quick. If there has been people that die from it, it's other circumstances involved also with drugs,
Right.
alcohol. It may hopefully not a position, or we try to watch. It's our responsibility that they're not high on stairs or on
Yeah.
a fence or somewhere that they would fall.
Yeah, because and you've been tasered before,
Yes, sir.
but I haven't. But what I have seen is, you could see if someone was up on a wall or they're climbing up a thing, because you completely go
Yes.
limp, and then you're just kind of like
Right.
hit the ground.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that they're on the ground.
Yes.
There's certain things,
And where they're going to fall at.
and what are, for our viewers and listeners, how does the taser exactly work?
It's 50,000 volts,
Okay.
which is not that bad. It's like when you were little and stuck something in the light socket, and that little zap,
Yes.
5 seconds, it just shuts down the senses for that quick 5 seconds.
And what's the range as far as the?
The wires are 20 foot, 20 to 25 feet.
Okay.
Like I said, quick recovery on that, and it just may be a tool we want to use in a different circumstance. Of course, we still have the OC spray,
Right.
but if we use the taser, like I said, it's quick. You just have to make the quick decision of where that person's at and what's going on.
And I know you haven't taken the training yet, but I did want to take this time to thank Fairfield Medical,
Oh, yes.
because they donated 12 of the portable defibrillators to
Right.
the sheriff's office. And it's kind of a remarkable piece of equipment, because it's something that small, compact, and you open it up, and a recording will actually talk you through how to use
Tell
the
you what to do.
defibrillator, tell you exactly what to do, and these things can really save people's life. And we've had instances many times, as you know, where a deputy is actually closer than a squad.
Right, and that does happen, and we've put one in every car, and we've trained all the deputies and the jail personnel on how to use them.
Sergeant Marian Devault, our guest today. We're just about out of time. I'd like to have you back next week to maybe talk about, I know you just finished the Sweet Corn Festival. We have the Fairfield County Fair.
It's coming up.
Coming up before too long. Lots of things, and maybe some tips on car safety, on home safety.
Sure.
So can you join us next
I
week?
will do that.
Do appreciate that.
Thank
With
you.
us this afternoon, a 17-year veteran of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Marian Devault, and certainly Sergeant does a terrific job out there in Canal Winchester. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and appreciate the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy that produce this program, put it together every week. And if it was not for their participation, we wouldn't have this program. And certainly we're thankful to our radio affiliates and LNS that puts this program out each and every week. Well, the clock on the wall says we've got to go. Until next time, same place, same station. We'll see you right here next week.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.